Live symbol on screen. All right.
Rocking and rolling.
So this is number 5, right?
Yes.
Five interviews so far. All right. Hey, virtual high five. All right.
Yeah. Good work.
So yes, welcome to episode 5 of the Wine Bros. I am Chef Christopher of the Joel Palmer House Restaurant, here with my brother Stefan of Black Tie Tours, Oregon's premier Oregon wine country touring aficionado expert pros. I don't know if I mentioned this in the past, Stefan, but your guests are always crazy happy when they come into the restaurant. I don't know what it is you do differently from the other tour companies, but I mean, aside from your glistening personality, of course, but whether it's you or your guys, they always have good things to say.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that. And I will tell you, I always grill my guests after they've eaten at the restaurant. And it's, oh, how was dinner? And they're like, oh, it was really good. And I said, no, really, how was dinner? Because I need to know, and I will tell Chris, this is the perfect opportunity to tell me, if something wasn't right or whatever, and I will pass it on to him. And, it's not mean, it's just family, and
yeah, people will totally blow smoke up your ass all day long to your face, but then behind your back, give the honest opinion. That's why I love being able to count on you and a few select others to be like, no, what was good, what was wrong. So if you say something good, I can trust it as being authentic. And if it's negative, it's not going to be aimed at trying to hurt my feelings. It'll be out of genuine care.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And all you people out there, if you go to Joel Palmer House and you don't want to tell Chris some feedback, you can always just message me and say, hey,
so I'm not going to take it.
Yeah, maybe have Chris not out in the dining room so much because he's so freaking ugly.
Whoa. Hey, that's the highlight of the restaurant, bro.
His BO was really bad or whatever. Just, you can tell me and I'll gently pass it on to either directly to Chris or I'll tell my mom, who will then tell Chris. So.
Well, that'll be a fun part of the conversation today because our winemaker guest is Bryan Weil. Am I pronouncing that last name right?
We're going to ask him here shortly.
I'll ask him shortly because he'll be joining us because he worked at the Joel Palmer House for a period of time. He was in the front of the house. I know that much. I've been running it. I've been running the Palmer House for the last 12 years. He precedes that time from back when my folks were still running the place. So he and I never actually worked together, but you know him, right? You've been hanging out with him once in a while?
Yeah, we worked together. I worked at Palmer House weekends and more, quite a bit over the years. Yeah, Bryan, I think we worked together a year or so. And it was fun just kind of keeping track of what he was up to. And it's great to have him back here. So Chris, if you're ready to go, I'll bring on Bryan. Oh, actually, let's introduce the wine real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, and you got the bottle there.
I do. We are tasting. Can you see it? It might be a little washed out.
Yeah, it's pretty washed out. It's Rain Dance.
Rain Dance. That is raindancevineyards.com. We're tasting their 2016 Estate Pinot Noir, Nicholas Vineyard. I'm going to grill them about that because I went to their website and it says Estate, it says Nicholas Vineyard, but not on all their bottles. So we'll get some clarification there. We'll get into some of the techie stuff, but not too much. We've got more important questions to ask, like what was it like working for my parents at the Joel Palmer House?
Yeah.
What kind of zombie does he prefer, slow or fast? We're going to get the really important questions going too. So yeah, let's bring them on, dude.
Okay. I think most people prefer, if it was real life, a slow zombie.
Oh, for sure.
But in a zombie flick, I do like a fast zombie.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. Maybe that'll be another episode. We'll dive deeper into that.
Just go all zombie, like a half hour of just zombie talk.
That's not a bad idea, man. We could go through our top 10, top 50 zombie movies, and have a glass of wine or 4 while we're talking about it, right?
Yeah, easy.
Because, hey, Bryan, out of all the I was just
There
going
we
to say,
go.
out of all the people we've asked to interview, everybody's had an opinion on that particular subject, Stefan, and Bryan did not. So it should be a fun conversation.
We might need to have a movie night, Bryan.
Let's do it.
We were joking that you didn't have a preference on zombies, you know.
I need to be a little bit more versed in those genre of movies. So
that's okay. We're busting
Need
your
is
balls.
relative.
I'll focus on this for your guys' sake.
Yeah, there
Well,
you go.
we were talking before you came on about the fact that you had worked for my parents while they were running the Joel Palmer House. I never worked with you. You worked with Stefan a bit. Could you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, it was really fun, actually. It was right out of during culinary school. Actually, we took a trip to the Joel Palmer House as a group of 20 students. We were able to go out every month with the chef instructors and try a new place. And this is one of my favorites. And your dad actually came out at the end of the dinner and said, "Hey, by the way, I'm also looking for some help for servers this summer." So I jumped on board and was able to work with him. So I actually got to work with Jack quite a bit, not cooking. I did service with Stefan, but he would always involve me in IPNCs and other dinners that we would do away from normal service. And so I got to experience a lot of fun stuff with Jack, as well as my favorite fond memories of doing stuff with Jack would be the truffle and mushroom hunting. I got to go to Southern Oregon with him and up to St. Helens, Mount St. Helens, and all these great places around the valley, of course.
Just don't give away too much, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, did he blindfold you on the way to the truffle spots?
He did have to take away all my GPS when we got in the car, but that seems like forever ago, a while ago, but got to work
13 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And then Heidi, I got to work with a lot in the front of the house and learning about wine, but definitely.
What was it like working with my mom in the front of the house? Be honest. She's probably not watching.
Okay, great. No, she was great. And for someone who hadn't done a lot of fine diving service, she was very detailed and really great help to learn how to do it right, and had a lot of great staff there to learn from as well. It was a great experience, and one of the best experience was getting to try Pinot Noirs every night with Jack from people that came in, which a lot were winemakers and leftover partial bottles, and it was a great experience to try hundreds of Pinots that I had never tried before.
Did he do his emergency wine tastings with you?
It's really important. Safety meetings, we like to call them.
Right. Yes. Well, see, a few years ago, we got a cool argon system for the bar, for all of our glass pours, so they last longer. We don't have to worry about them being oxidized. But I know that prior to that, all those glass pour wines at the end of a Saturday night would either end up in a sauce the next week or everybody else's bellies. So yes, I fondly remember the first year and a half after I'd come home in 2006, doing those late night emergency wine tastings. Just to keep our palates tuned.
You don't want the wine to go bad, right? Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Waste of wine. That's a sin.
Bryan, I gotta ask: Did you ever witness my mom in a let's say a moment of fury do the full stomp? Jumping up and down, stomping?
I don't think so. I think she probably hit it for me. Maybe you saw, but no, I was there on the good days, but nothing but fun times there, and got a really rounded experience, like I said, from front and back of the house. So it was my first real step into the food industry, because I started when I was 15 washing dishes at a pizza place, and got into the culinary field pretty quickly in college.
Where did you go to culinary school?
It was at Lynn Benton. I'd actually originally started in engineering at Oregon State back in 2000 and had a Fulbright Air Force scholarship to the ROTC program there, but was getting pretty tall, and I was also thinking about some other thoughts other things I wanted to do before signing my dotted line in sophomore summer. So
all right.
Go to boot camp.
Full stop. You were engineering, ROTC, Air Force, and then culinary school.
Yeah, it was a really drastic change.
What was that thought process like?
I don't know. I wasn't drinking a lot of wine then, but maybe beer. But I definitely had always had culinary in my mind from when I was younger. I'd never cooked a lot. I definitely.
Yeah, but I mean,
cooking,
you were doing an engineering program. You were getting ready to sign the line. What was the big impetus for you to switch?
I think it wasn't fitting with maybe the big picture like I thought it would when I was in high school, and I was very much wanting to fly and do other things, but I think there was some things throughout the first couple of years there in that program. Engineering was great. I probably didn't need to check do electrical engineering. I probably was better mechanical than electrical. So I think some of the things just kind of added up, and I realized there was a great culinary program actually at Lynn Benton in community college there. So,
and then how long were you working for my folks at the Joel Palmer House?
About a year. I worked about a year, and then when I finished up there, I actually went back to Oregon State after culinary school to get the enology viticulture degree. So that's kind of where I moved on to the professional side from kind of chefing to the winemaking. But throughout the first couple of years in culinary school and then the first couple of years in winemaking, I always used the restaurants as a way to kind of put myself through school.
So we missed each other by about a year. So when you left the Palmer House, that's when you did your enology, your wine studies, right?
Yep. Spent another about 3 years there because luckily I had the science background at Oregon State from some of the engineering classes that crossed over. And so I kind of fast tracked it with some summer school and got all that stuff done in about 3 years. And right after school I had been working at a small winery in Corvallis called Tyee, but then right after school of 2 years working there and finishing school, I went up to the big guys in Washington to make about 1 million cases of wine up at Hogue Cellars for about 4 years there.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then on to Alexana. That was the next stop?
Exactly. I'd been looking to get back to Oregon. It's where I grew up in Salem, about 30 minutes kind of south of here. I'm in Dundee right now, and obviously from Dayton, it's not that much closer, but about 30 minutes south of here. And I just always loved this area and got to see Oregon wine really flourishing and wanted to get back to do a kind of a smaller production. And luckily I learned a lot up in Washington and got a lot of great experiences and met a lot of great people, but this is home. And so when I got an opportunity to work with Lynn Penarash, who was working for Dr. Ravana at Alexana, who also owns a Napa and Argentina winery called Ravana and Corazon del Sol. But she was consulting on the Oregon project and needed a winemaker to build the new winery here in the Dundee Hills in 2012 is when I came back.
Well, it's funny you should mention Lynn because she's going to be doing an interview with us in the coming weeks, scheduled for the end of May. And want to make sure our viewers are aware. We're talking to Bryan Weil, your winemaker at Rain Dance Vineyards, but also Alexana, right?
Yep. So that's where all the Rain Dance wines are made. And so Alexana is my main job, but I also am the winemaker for Rain Dance, which is Ken and Celia Austin in the Chehandle Mountains there. They own about 100 acres of grapes, 4 distinct sites that they have up there on the properties. They're long-term Newburgh people and have been around. Their whole family has been around for a long time. And so it's a great opportunity to work with people. They're also Beavers from Oregon State, so that's an easy connection. And we do, get a lot of their grapes that we manage for our own production at Alexana. And that's kind of how the relationship started back in 12. We started getting some of their grapes. In 13, they actually asked us to make a little bit of wine. So that first year was about 100 cases. Now we've grown to about 600 or 700 cases a year. And it's a really great program. And actually, I think
the Austins, Ken and Celia, they're associated, of course, with the ADEC, in Newburgh Dental, Manufacturing Company, and also the Allison Inn and Spa. Is any of the fruit come from the grapes growing right outside the hotel there in Newburgh?
So those ones are not a part of the Alexana program. The ones literally just up the hill, a little bit higher elevation. They have 3 spots right up the hill there, up Aspen, as well as up off of Bell Road.
Because the question I had was that, because the bottle says 2016 Estate Pinot Noir, Nicholas Vineyard. So on the website, you've got a wine that's the 2017. It's in a Magnum. It just says Estate. So could you clarify exactly is Nicholas Vineyard the estate wine?
Yep. So good question. Okay. So I'll probably confuse you a little bit more because we did just change the name, but so Grand Oak is the new name of the Nicholas Vineyard. And that's partly because Ken and Celia actually bought the Nicholas Vineyard that the owners of Anamcara have owned for many, many years, a very famous vineyard. They had a chance to purchase a portion of that vineyard that they now own. And so we now get to work with that fruit. So that is the Nicholas Vineyard and Grand Oak are one of the same. It's just the name changed from 16 to 17. So it's up there off of Highway 99, kind of Rex Hill area, in some of that really cool windblown soils. So that one is going to be the Grand Oak. Nicholas is going to be an estate vineyard off to the side, but their main estate blend, which is just the estate Pinot Noir, is right above the Allison there, up off Bell and Herd Road.
Got it. Yeah, because when you said Anamcara, I was like, oh, wait a second. I think I have some of that or had some of it. I don't think I
Yeah,
have it
great-
anymore because
great
they were
wines
doing a
and
Nicholas
pricing.
Estate as well.
So now, Brian, you make, of course, you make all the Alexana wines, the Rain Dance wines. Alexana is primarily Pinot Noir, but of course Chardonnay, Riesling, and but then you make some Cab. You do you make the Cab for the other vineyards? How's that work? Because I know you have the relationship with the other vineyard sites or the other wineries.
Yeah, so we have a Napa Valley winery called Ravana that makes Cabernet, and that's pretty much, it's the main blend is what they make. And so that's all made down there. And Argentina is mostly Malbec. That's all made down there. We do a Bordeaux blend, but it is from Washington State that we bring the grapes back from the Red Mountain region in Yakima Valley. And that's kind of a side project. Since I had worked up there, Dr. Ravana asked me to do some of that. So but yeah, I was busy doing that, Rain Dance and Alexana at the same time. So now I'm happy to just be making Rain Dance and Alexana, which has been fun. And actually, I think Rain Dance's owners might actually be on the Zoom call today in the background, and it's Ken's birthday. So we should all wish him a happy birthday, I think. So happy birthday, Ken.
Happy birthday, Ken.
Happy birthday, Ken. We love you. We love you guys.
Yeah.
Ken and Celia are awesome. If you haven't met, I mean, obviously you've met them, but they've been big supporters of Joel Palmer House, Black Tie Tours, and yeah, we're
Great people.
huge fans. So love you guys.
It's so fantastic when fantastic food and wine is made by great people. You know, it's not like everybody's a Gordon Ramsay. You know, food's great, person sucks. You know, so we're actually tasting the 2016 today. Did you open one for yourself?
Yeah, so funny enough, I couldn't find any because it's so limited. So I found a shiner in my lab samples at the winery from a couple years ago. We usually hold a couple bottles during.
And for those who don't know, a shiner is
blank. It's completely blank, other than it's corked with a cork or a screw cap it's closed with, and it has nothing labeled. So I think you have most of the stock because that wine sold out fairly quickly, and it's a great program over there because it's all small lots. Everything at Alexana is for the most part small too, and they really take it to the next level with their 3 or 4 different unique vineyard sites. If you want to go see some llamas, they have an amazing herd of llamas out there off of Bell Road, so you can taste and feed llamas. It's pretty cool.
Depends on how much tasting you've already done.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go check out the llamas.
Llamas have very
gentle, man, I want to see some llamas.
Yeah, the llamas have very gentle, soft lips. You put the food in their hands and they go. And
pretty funny, the nibble.
You had me at gentle, soft lips.
Gentle, soft lips. There we go.
Oh boy.
Just like that. So Brian, what excites you about Oregon, and what's kind of, how about this? 2 things. What excites you about what's happening in Oregon, and maybe one thing that concerns you?
I think I'm excited being kind of part of, almost, if you could call it, the second generation of winemakers. I didn't come from a winemaking family, but a lot of my friends that have taken over from their fathers or mothers have really, about the same age group. And it's been fun to watch, these second generations take on and really expand upon what we've had from the forefathers and, the wine communities back in the 60s and 70s. They were figuring out where to plant and what to plant and how to do it. And so they really took the big chunk of how we do things out. And now it's exciting for me is just those little last 1-2% of things, those details that we really are getting to work on and really make Oregon what it is, which is just great quality wines year after year, no matter the vintage. Vintage variability is key. So that excites me about it, is there's never anything that's the same, but we're always trying to expand our knowledge and do research and make the wines as best as possible. And that's going to continue on for many, many years. And it does in every region, but I think we're such a young region that it's a super exciting time for the Oregon industry right now.
Well, you're killing it so far, dude. It's been a while since I added this to the list, and now I get to remember why.
Well, cheers. I'm glad you like it. It's a fun, elegant wine. I think it shows some spice, shows everything. I think Oregon Pinot Noir and
it was really tight when we first opened it. I'll let you know right now. It needed to breathe, but swirling in my glass, it's really softened up, really well balanced, and great price too. I mean, what's your retail on this?
I think it's right around 36. You're talking to the wrong guy, because my wife does the sales for them, actually. Go figure. It's a very connected group that we work with, but it's right around that 36 price point. And it's a great wine and small production, but it's made in the same fashion as much higher price point wines in the valley.
You said you don't have the 16 anymore, but you're currently selling the 2017. Is that right?
I believe that just sold out, and so they moved on, I think, to the 18th. Just got released with Wine Club recently, and
Oh wow, okay.
and it's a small production again, and they pretty much sell direct to consumer and then a little bit to restaurants.
Yeah,
mostly.
I'm busy doing that.
It just started distributing a little bit in a couple in Nebraska as well, but that's it. So just a few cases over there, and mostly to Oregon.
Well, now if somebody was out wine tasting in the valley, do you guys have a tasting room somewhere they can taste?
Yeah, so off of Bell Road there, if you go up above the Allison, they have a beautiful, it's a red barn basically that you can see there, and it's Rain Dance Vineyards. And it's got the whole flight of wines, and like I said, llamas, and just a great area to go out and sit. You got a great outside area, a great indoor area, a lot of custom woodworking inside, which is really cool because Ken is actually a master craftsman in wood, all sorts. And some of my favorite stuff are some of the things he does with like black walnut and a few other things that you'll see actually in the Allison, in the spa, at the chef's table. He's an amazing woodworker. He's got some pretty amazing recliners or rocking chairs there as well.
Now
Go ahead, Stefan.
I gotta ask, the Alexana tasting room. There's a construction project going on there. When's it gonna open? I mean, I know we've got the coronavirus going on and nothing's happening right now, but I've seen the plans. It looks insane. You guys are gonna have such an amazing space there when it's all done. But when's it gonna open?
Yeah, it's exciting to expand our hospitality program because we make, the wines and spend a lot of time working our butts off on them, and for them to be able to serve them in a great setting is really important. So we've gotten busy enough to where we're able to expand that tasting room. Things have slowed a little bit with this, but we're still fairly on track for probably right around harvest time, of course. So we should be finishing up hopefully in the fall time, and get some guests in there, and it'll be 4 individual private tasting rooms with a big addition to the deck as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very excited.
Well, we're about at the time mark. Stefan, any other questions?
No, we'll catch you hopefully at the winery here soon, Brian. I know I get out there a lot more than Chris does, and I get to watch you through the window at Alexana.
Yep.
Watch you work. So it's always a pleasure seeing that.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, when are you hiring? Because I'm ready to come back. But
yeah,
I just really enjoyed talking to you guys. I think it's a fun thing to be around right now in the food and wine industry, because we're having to get inventive a little bit on how we're doing these things. And I think just if everyone can continue to support the restaurants and the wineries, I think we're going to come out of this great. And it's trying times, but I think there's going to be some good things to come out of it.
When this whole thing's done, people are going to be really hungry and really thirsty. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm ready for my wild mushroom soup to start with, guys. So let me know when the opening day is. I'll be there.
All right, we'll let you know, brother.
All right, hey, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, guys.
Cheers. All right,
Cheers.
Brian.
Cheers. Now, see, there's an interview I could definitely do for like another 20 minutes, just hearing about what it was like working back, with my mom and dad, in 2004,
I know. Oh, sorry. I think I got rid of your video, bro.
Oh,
hang on.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Start my video. There we go.
No, I know. That'd be kind of fun, is to bring back, I'm Facebook friends with a few old Joel Palmer House employees. One, Peter Levan, would be a hell of an interview. That guy is a crack up.
Peter Levan, he worked for my parents back in Pennsylvania, not here in Oregon.
Oh yeah.
No, this is the guy. This is the guy where I'm walking through some park in Manhattan, and I'm 18 years old, barely. Him and this lady who was working in the kitchen, also, the 3 of us were walking. He stops, walks 30 yards over, just to walk up to a random stranger and say, this lady was sitting there on a park bench doing her makeup, just to walk over and say, "Don't mess with perfection." And then walks away and continues on his path with us. No ulterior motive, just to be that guy, which I think is rad. So yeah, we've got Steph and I had a few ideas on some interviews for future dates. So maybe Peter would be a good one to bring on.
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, and yeah, hopefully there's nobody that needs to be interviewed from prison or anything like that. I know one guy potentially, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, maybe we'll just pre-record and then edit that one.
Yeah, there we go.
It can be a enjoy Oregon Pinot and survive prison interview.
There we go. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us again this week. Don't forget, if you want to get updates, email updates. Sign up to be a VIP. There should be a link. I think maybe you'll put it in the comments or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, check out the wine club, the Corona Club that I'm doing with my brother. And, of course,
Did you just call it the Corona Club?
You know, maybe I did.
I think COVID Club is a little more sophisticated.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll the idea being we'll get you wine. If you want us to put together a mixed case of wine for you, whether you're in the Portland area or elsewhere, we can ship as well. But we will gather up wine to your specifications, deliver it, get it to you so you don't die of thirst in these very trying times. What do you have going on at Joel Palmer House right now, Chris?
Renovation. I'm in full-time daddy mode these days, but today and yesterday I did not bring the boys over to the restaurant specifically because of all the painting happening.
Yes.
So,
but if people want to pick up gift certificates, they can do that online.
That's right. Go to joelpalmerhouse.com, get an extra $20 on your gift certificate for every $100 you spend, and get entered into the super mega awesome super drawing once we're able to reopen. That drawing will be a multi-course, multi-hour, multi-wine tasting and food wine extravaganza for up to 6 guests. And yeah, oh yeah.
You're gonna invite your favorite brother
to help serve? That'd be awesome. Thanks for offering, man. You're such a nice guy.
I've moved up. No, I haven't really moved up.
So sweet.
It's a lateral move. All right, everybody. Well, thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you next week. And definitely keep checking in on our Facebook pages, the Black Tie Tours, Joel Palmer House, for updates.
In the meantime, keep tasting.
Adios. Cheers.